highly sensitive people and empaths, we can have a complicated relationship with the idea of manifesting because it can sound selfish or self-centered, or too material. But what I hear you saying, and what I truly believe too, it's manifestation is simply following like the compass of your heart's desires and allowing it to unfold through life, and yes, being bold enough to claim it. But we have our desires for a reason. Your vision of whatever you wrote on that list, however long ago it was, if I had written a list at the same time, maybe there'd been a couple, we're both life coaches, entrepreneurs, there may have been some overlap, but it would have been totally different. And that's because we're unique individuals who have our desires for a reason. And that's not a mistake. It's just not a mistake to want the things that we want. Where I do find it can be tricky for empaths and HSPs to do manifestation is deconditioning from like ego manifestations versus like soul purpose manifestations. And ego manifestations can be like, oh, I want to make, I need to make 6 figures, or I want this promotion, or I want this car. Those can be somebody's soul manifestations, but I find the ego ones are more often related to status or familial conditioning or what you think you should want. And the soul manifestations are the things you kind of daydream about and tell yourselves, well, it's not really practical to want those things. Like I did a whole podcast episode on manifesting this house, and it was just like the craziest dream. Like I wanted an old house full of character in a small village, but that was still walkable to coffee shops. And I just was like, well, this doesn't really exist, so I'm not going to let myself think about it. Boom. September of 2022, I guess, we found this place that had all of those criteria. And that was really a huge teacher for me in my manifestation practice, was that your desires don't have to be logical. And they don't have to be realistic. And you're right that there is a lot of surrender involved in the process. For example, I was thinking about a house like this for over 3 years. So it was not by any means like a super fast manifestation. But there was divine timing in it. And it really gave me the lesson that like, I get to want the things that I want. Not only is this house old, full of character, in nature, in a village of 100 people, there are 2 coffee shops within walking distance. It has a clawfoot tub, which was like a big thing for me. It has a yard for space for a garden. It's on a creek, a water feature. And I was like, oh, this is how it works. I give myself permission to desire exactly what I want.